Welcome back to One Mind Tracks. That was Ice Cream Castles by The Time, or Morris Day and the Time, as it is often referred to. It's a long song. I should have warned you how long it was going to be, but I feel like once you get past that long music box intro, it's kind of worth it. Yeah. Should have said that ahead of time. So listen, if you skipped it because you were worried about that long intro, go back, listen to it again, because if you don't know, this was a project of Prince's. Yeah. I was going to say a side project. That's sort of true, but it's also sort of not true. He kind of put them together based on an existing band and some other musicians he knew, including Morris Day, who was his childhood friend.
Wasn't he doing this because like a loophole in his contract meant that he could work with like other people outside of like making his albums?
And he also wanted to continue exploring and doing new things and new genres, but he still wanted to have the fun and like the sound that he had on his earlier albums. So that's why Morris Day and The Time was created. The Time was created to kind of capitalize on and what he started off on. Apparently, and I didn't know any of this prior to like this playlist. I kind of always wrote The Time off because they're goofy. Their second album is called What Time Is It? And that was apparently something he would say whenever he came out on stage.
That's the one you showed me. That just
yeah. I feel like that's the most iconic cover, which is like him with like I think he's got a watch and it's What Time Is It on the left hand corner. But this is actually off of I would say more successful album. Which is called Ice Cream. Ice Cream Castles, I like. No. Because two or three of the songs from this were featured from the album, were featured in Purple Rain, which I did not realize. Purple Rain. I was getting ready to say that I thought all the songs in Purple Rain were Prince, and I did, but I realized that's not the Prince movie that I've seen any of, so it makes sense that I didn't know this. But they saw a lot of success from that, and little Prince connection there. I was Jungle Love, I do not have any interest in. I don't think that's as good a song.
Although I feel like that's the most recognizable.
100% it is. 100% it is, which is why I wrote Morris Day and the Time off. But then I heard this song and I'm like, oh, it gets really funky in there. I'm like, it starts sounding like Prince. Well, that makes sense. Prince was like producing them and all this stuff.
Yeah, right when she said, that kind of sounds like Prince, she looked it up and she was like, wait, that is Prince. Wait, no, it's not Prince. But it kind of.
Also from Morris Day and The Time, I'm going to keep saying that even though on all the albums they're credited as The Time. Even though the version of The Time we hear on Ice Cream Castle, it does not contain this duo. Jam and Lewis were originally a part of The Time. They actually broke out on their own as much more famous than anybody else from that band.
Which, honestly, whenever she told me Jam and Lewis, I thought it was Jam and Lewis as in one person. And like
Jam and Lewis.
When she said duo.
Jam and Lewis were kind of a pretty huge production and songwriting team in like the late 80s especially, writing songs for like tons of number ones for Janet Jackson, for Mariah Carey, for Usher, and one for the Human League, which seems like an unlikely duo, but they did do a whole album together. It was ultimately the Human League's final album because it was a little mixed up, but if you like the song Human by the Human League, you can thank Prince, sort of. Not really.
Thank Prince for kicking Jam.
Hey, so Prince says he didn't kick Jam and Lewis out, even though they were late for a concert because they got stuck in a snowstorm because they were going to do some production stuff, and Prince ended up having to mime one of their bass lines from behind a curtain. He played it while somebody else mimed it because they were late, and Morris Day was like, what should I do? And he's like, I don't know, I'd fire them. And so that's what happened, which I love the idea of going to a show and secretly hearing Prince but not knowing.
And Morris Day just playing the scapegoat there 100% and then just getting burned.
Prince said I should do it. Prince said I should do it. Yeah, because in the end, after Prince's death, the Prince's estate said, hey, Morris Day, you can't use the name Morris Day and the Time anymore. Oops. Can't do it. Sorry. Sorry. We're playing songs about ice cream tonight.
Yeah.
Most of them have ice cream in the title. Here's one that doesn't. This is Olivia Rodrigo, and this was one of the songs that kind of came to mind when I started thinking about the theme, because I was like, what's that song about strawberry ice cream? It's not about strawberry ice cream.
This whole song, this whole time, it's been
Deja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo on One Mind Tracks.